The cold spray of water hit her before I even realized I had squeezed the garden hose. Time seemed to freeze as the stream soaked my beautiful new neighbor from shoulder to knee. My heart dropped into my stomach. I expected anger, embarrassment, maybe even a furious shout across the fence. Instead, she slowly brushed the wet strands of auburn hair from her face, walked closer with an unreadable smile, leaned toward me, and whispered something so unexpected that my entire world seemed to stop turning. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach people who may need a little hope today. My name is Nathan, and at 32, I had become the quiet neighbor everyone waved to, but hardly knew. I lived in a peaceful neighborhood outside Asheville, North Carolina, where weekends were filled with mowing lawns, trimming hedges, and pretending everything in life was perfectly fine. The truth was very different. 2 years earlier, I had lost both my father and the construction company we had built together. Since then, I had spent every day trying to rebuild my finances while quietly carrying grief that never seemed to leave. The small house next door had been empty for months, until a moving truck arrived one bright Saturday morning. The new owner was a woman named Grace. She seemed cheerful, always greeting everyone with a warm smile, even while carrying heavy boxes by herself. I noticed she never seemed to have visitors, but I assumed she simply valued her privacy, just as I did. That warm afternoon, I was watering the flowers my father had planted years before. Lost in thought, I didn't notice Grace walking along the edge of the fence. When I turned, the hose slipped, sending a powerful stream directly toward her. Within seconds, her light yellow blouse and white shorts were completely soaked. I froze in horror, apologizing over and over, certain I had ruined our first real interaction. But Grace simply laughed. It wasn't forced or sarcastic. It was genuine, bright, and somehow comforting. Then she stepped close enough that only I could hear her gentle voice. She whispered that it was the first time someone had made her laugh since her husband passed away 8 months earlier. Her words silenced every apology I had prepared. The smile on her face hadn't erased her pain. It had simply hidden it well from that day forward. Everything between us changed. We began sharing simple conversations while tending our gardens. Sometimes we exchanged homemade meals. Other evenings, we sat on our porches watching the sunset without saying much at all. Neither of us tried to fix the other's broken heart. We simply made loneliness feel a little less heavy. Weeks later, Grace invited me to help organize a neighborhood fundraiser for a local veterans community center. Watching her encourage volunteers, comfort elderly neighbors, and quietly donate supplies without seeking recognition showed me the kind of person she truly was. She carried her own sorrow with remarkable grace while constantly lifting others. One afternoon, I finally admitted something I had hidden from everyone. I confessed that I still blamed myself for losing my father's business, and that every failure since then felt like proof I had disappointed him. Grace didn't offer a perfect answer. She simply reminded me that love isn't measured by success, and that the people who truly care about us would rather see us standing again than endlessly punishing ourselves for falling. Those words stayed with me long after she returned home. Inspired by her quiet strength, I slowly reopened the small woodworking shop. My father had dreamed of expanding. Business was slow, but every customer reminded me that starting over wasn't something to be ashamed of. Months passed, and the neighborhood began noticing the change in both of us. Grace smiled more often. I laughed again. We celebrated holidays with nearby families, volunteered together, and discovered that healing rarely arrives through dramatic moments. Sometimes it arrives through ordinary afternoons, shared coffee, and unexpected friendships, born from accidents. One crisp autumn evening, we stood in our adjoining backyard surrounded by golden leaves. The same garden hose rested beside my feet. We laughed about the day everything began. Grace quietly admitted that after losing her husband, she had almost sold the house because every room reminded her of what she had lost. But after that ridiculous accident, she realized life still had a way of surprising her with unexpected kindness. She decided to stay not because the pain disappeared, but because hope had quietly returned. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a reminder that healing often begins in the most unexpected moments. Before this story ends, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us, have you ever experienced an unexpected accident that turned into one of life's greatest blessings? Your story might encourage someone reading the comments today. As winter approached, I looked across the fence where everything had started. I realized the greatest moments in life rarely arrive according to our plans. Sometimes they begin with a mistake, an apology, and a stranger brave enough to answer pain with kindness instead of anger. The day I accidentally soaked my beautiful neighbor, I believed I had made the most embarrassing mistake of my life. Looking back now, I understand that it wasn't the water that changed everything. It was the quiet courage of two broken people choosing compassion over fear, friendship over loneliness, and hope over despair. Life doesn't always announce its greatest blessings. Sometimes they arrive disguised as ordinary accidents, reminding us that even after heartbreak, the human heart still has room to laugh again, trust again, and believe that tomorrow can be brighter than yesterday.